Okay, just like the space tourists of our empire, we've come to visit Seleuce. Seleuce is our first colony. It was previously settled and is currently settled by other Zenox, other cats like ourselves, who have maintained this colony through the dark years. We're going to build an planetary administration here because that will help the planet in multiple ways. Lower corruption, make its happiness higher, give it more development. Support costs aren't that bad either. Really just a good building in general. I like to imagine that this building represents us integrating our technocratic command into their way of life. They are definitely all fully integrated. They are comfortable in our society. And I think that's great. It's really nice for our first colony to be one that's going to be strong right away without much input from us. Tourists are starting to go between the planets. I really like, again, like I said last episode, I really like the idea of the tourists, just like going back and forth between those two worlds, visiting the other people that are like themselves in this foreign world. Both foreign and similar, like a different culture. It's quite cool. I love the idea. Oh, more cat pirates. Well, that's good. That's good. It's always nice to have that big bonus from them being the same race as us. In a way, it's pretty lucky. Our whole region is just filled with cats. Cats on planets, cats on space stations, cats everywhere. Cats that we can easily convince to have non-aggression pact with us, which is great. We are getting to the point though where we're going to have a lot of pirate friends, and that could really hurt our reputation with our first neighbors when we finally find them. But we'll worry about that problem when it actually occurs. There's no point in worrying about it too much right now, because we definitely need to pay those guys off. So they finally bought all that stuff we were hoping for them to buy because of our last couple of techs. That's really good because that means we can. That's great because it means we can finally afford to put that terraformer on our home planet, which is really good. I don't know if the planet's damaged anymore, but the 5% quality will be worth it anyway, so we'll just put it there because we've been planning to. It's fine if our tech isn't full right at this time. We can go a little slow for a bit. It's not a rushy game. And having more quality on the planet will definitely help it in the future to become bigger and so have a whole bunch more money. We're actually already in a pretty good state, which is great. Wait, didn't I already build a colony ship for that place? It's nice. Oftentimes when I'm playing Zenox, I don't get a lot of planets I can colonize right away. A lot of times they're in the 9 to 19 range, meaning you need technology. Also saved us a lot of money that we didn't have to bribe our first independent colony at all in order to colonize it right away. And that world up there is going to make for a great colony. I should probably check. I'm pretty sure I sent a colony up there already. Yeah, I did send a colony ship to it right away. Makes me wonder what's happening. Sometimes when I'm playing Zenox, Because of the way I start at the beginning, where I go slow, I don't have a lot of planets like this that's quality are just good enough to settle right away. The usual result is that I have to stifle my economy and thus my research at the beginning in order to make a bunch of half decent colonies into usable colonies with terraforming so that my economy can do okay in spite of the fact I'm going to have to spend so much on terraformers. I really don't think it's going to change all that much. I really think the terraforming solution is going to remain necessary because I'm pretty sure I'm still going to end up finding most of my planets not being very good simply because of the bad range that all the ice worlds have for quality. It's very low. It's low even considering the many bonuses that the Zenox get for those kinds of planets. I've had a lot of Zenox starts where there's been no planets I could really use without technology, and I've had to use a terraformer on almost every planet at the beginning. It's not really great. It's partially because of my absolute refusal to get by any of the systems that the pirates try to give me. It's pretty much what we're supposed to be doing. Help us push our expansion out faster. We could be scouting worlds too, I guess, but I don't like to scout. I like to explore thoroughly. I like to know every planet before I move on. The great thing about our ice technology and our terraforming technology is that they increase the quality and suitability of the planets that we would naturally end up on, which is good for our economy late in the game, and it can make them break even sooner. This station is nice. It gives us a good, well, at least once it gets stocked by our transport ships, it'll give us a nice pushing off point into that direction for exploration. Yeah, it's really cool. It has a lot of technology that I do not have yet. A lot of stuff I don't have. But I think it's just worth it to keep it in place and make use of it. We don't have really any kind of base out in that direction, and this ship will allow our exploration ships to get further because they'll use it as a refueling station, which is great. We could also build a fleet here for that side of our empire if we want to. I feel like this area of our space over here is our natural exploration direction. I don't think we're going to be able to do much exploration in the other directions. Over here, the stars are just too sparse. It looks like our exploration direction into the center of the galaxy is definitely going to be in the direction of that station, which makes it a very good staging point for construction ships, colony ships, and exploration ships to refuel or even start off when we're going into the center of the galaxy. Oh, these guys are almost breaking even already. So we can build this now, which is great. The Science Academy. Could definitely use the extra science. Gonna build it in the capital, of course. Now that's done. We can do our research. So it's time to start looking towards building a military. So, step one for military ships. Frigate hulls. We definitely need frigate hulls. And then, I think the second thing we need to do is build better reactors. That'll help all of our ships, but it's really good for military ships. So the next thing after that is going to be our beam weapons, our special beam weapons, because that's the first weapon technology we want. And then I think we're going to finish up by getting our shields. So I think that's a good cue for our starting military ships. It'll also be a great upgrade for all of our bases. And some of the stuff, like the reactors, will help all of our ships and might give us an economy boost. Everything looks like it's going great. We're secure. Our research is starting to improve, but of course it won't be really improving until the terraformer is gone. Both of our colonies are starting to look good. Actually, no, it's just still barely starting. But once it's ready, we can destroy this, and that'll really help our economy boost back up to where we need it to be. It's really, really good to invest in our colony's quality because it helps max population, and that max population is going to make a big deal later on when it comes to how much money the planet produces. And of course, it'll affect research too. Yeah. I can't say enough about the terraforming technology. We could just name this episode talking about terraforming all day. Let's see. It's still not headed over there. Still not headed over there. Maybe it's still filling. It's not been that long yet. Hopefully it gets over there soon because that colony is going to be a real help for our economic push and to help us to stabilize everything we need. So I guess we should spend some time talking about what our plans are next. We need a faster expansion push, which means we're going to need to buy more science ships and we're going to need to buy more construction ships. We're going to need to also change our tech queue so that our exploration is more efficient. We're going to need to get the next kind of hyperdrive so we can push out faster. And then we may focus on military again for a while. I really want to get into a situation where we're not as bottlenecked with these ships. I probably did buy too many construction ships. But I guess if we add these to the queue, that should help with their problem not finding jobs. The best way for us to correct the problem with the construction ships is, of course, to buy more exploration ships. That's the wrong game. But we can't really do that till the terraformer's gone because we don't want to push our research down even worse than it already is. I think, though, overall, we're pretty stable, and that's good. And I think once that terraformer is down and we have a time where we can take a break from having it running, we'll be able to quickly push out and fix some of our problems. Yeah, that colony ship is stuck. So why is the colony ship stuck? Let's take a look. Oh, it doesn't think it can reach it. It doesn't think it has range. It's because where they chose to build it. They built it down in this planet where it doesn't have range to reach. Our correction to that, though, is pretty simple. We're just going to need to no, not up there. We don't want to send it to the fuel place. We need to send it to some place to get population that's close enough that when it refuels, yeah. We're going to send it to the capital. It's going to load colonists there, and then once we load our colonists here at the capital, we'll be able to fix the problem by refueling, and then from here, its range should reach. Yeah, that should fix the problem. So it'll go to the capital, it will fill up with colonists, and then it will refuel from there, and it should be able to reach the place we need it to go. So I'm just going to go in here for a second and add something. We're going to add the next hyperdrive technology. And I am going to add, I forgot the other thing we were going to add. Oh, we're going to upgrade our fuel cells because adding those two things is going to create a civilian shipbuilding push, and that will help us get some more money, and it will also improve the military ships we eventually build as well. Since we decided previously that the hypertech is going to be something we need soon in order to push outwards, I figured we would just put it in now. So let's just quickly take a look at that colony ship and make sure that it hasn't failed to do its job again. Okay, so it's definitely successfully moving towards the place it needs to. So we're building more passenger ships, and we've built one of our stations, so tourism is definitely increasing. Yeah, we have a lot of good stations. I think that our citizens are probably enjoying their freedom of movement, going to all these various different nice places to visit. A lot of casinos and resorts in there. Yes, lots of tourism. Lots of passenger ships built to move those people around and put money into my coffers. Everything is going well. As long as that colony ship does eventually get to where it needs to, everything's going to be great. I kind of like this as the core of our empire. Our two little colonies just in communication with each other. We're starting to get some good resources, but a lot of these stations are low quality. I probably shouldn't even do them, but what are you going to do? Tourism is feeling like a really core part of the economy of this empire. It feels like our people have a lot of personal freedoms, which are nice. Well, he's gonna make it, and he's chugging along. He's doing his best to get there. Yeah, he's not that fast, but there's not much I can do about that. Our population is nearing 4 billion. Our coffers have 120,000 in them, and we're making a good 3,000 per year. That's fine. And everything's going to slow down for a while and become a little bit relaxing, which is nice. Again, we don't need to push too hard. There's really no threats. Just let the AI take care of our one fuel transport, just in case there's any emergencies I don't miss. Just in case there's any emergencies I do miss. So let's just crash this so it only takes a year to finish. Once it finishes, it's going to help us out a lot. Again, more quality on our planets equals more good in the long run. And it's a good use of the money that we've been holding. Holding money too long isn't a great idea, because it could be doing something. I wonder how much longer it's going to be before we can scrap that terraformer and see that big boost to our economy that we've been looking forward to. I have to admit, I am really proud of how well our kitties are acclimating to space. Everything seems to be going real well for them. Let's take a look at our mining situation. Oh, yeah, they always think we need fuel because they want to store so much of it, and it makes sense. That number is usually red even if you're doing fine. And there's a message that we've been waiting for. We can scrap that terraformer finally. Our yearly income just skyrocket up to nearly 10,000, which should mean that our research is capped, which it is. That's great. Should make everything go so much faster. My usual move when I have 2 colonies and I've just finished a terraformer is to build another one immediately. But we don't really need it right now because it's actually fine. Like our second colony is actually fine, which is great. He's still chugging over there. It's nice to see our research finally ticking at full speed instead of being held back by just terraforming. We're going to get this technology so much faster, and the stuff that we're doing afterwards is going to be really fast too. It's so much faster now. It's just so much faster now. I think I have to admit that I really underestimated how much that terraformer was hurting our research, but I still think that in the long run, getting it done now will be a good investment. That research slowdown is going to have less effect on us now than it will later in the game. That's great. That should really improve our planets. 5% is actually quite a big deal, especially on planets that are already good. I don't think we're going to bother to crash these technologies because they're going up so fast. That thing is going up so fast. We could just hold our money for now. We may actually buy that terraformer after all. I'm going to think about it for a bit. Since we are making 16,000 per year, we can probably build that terraformer once we have the money. Oh, got frigates now. Let's take a look at that system and make a decision. That's not what I wanted. Because... Oh, good. That's working now. Great. It's nice to see the little guys getting in there. I wonder about this. I mean, we can't afford it right now, but our economy is so good that we probably should just do this right away. The primary reason to do it right away as soon as we have the money is because we won't have to do it later, right? Once it's done, it's done. Once it's not costing us any money, it's just free population on the planet. So I'm thinking we're going to switch our queue around here. A lot of the technologies that we're researching right now are better right away, since the military ship goal is going to require pretty much all of these technologies to be finished. We may as well put the ones that we have more use for at the beginning, because as they come out, they will be able to do upgrades for the other types of ships that we build, if you know what I mean. And there it is, just as predicted, a whole bunch of money from retrofits injected into our economy. Basically, we have 100,000 credits now that we didn't have before. Extraordinarily useful. So I guess there's really two things that I'm thinking about using that money on right now. The first is the one we talked about already, which is the terraforming facility, and the second one is expanding our number of exploration ships. So let's just look at how our exploration ships are doing right now. They seem to be doing okay at clearing the systems nearby, but they're not really pushing out as fast as I want them to. Still, it might be better to wait a little bit longer, like until after I build the new military ships. Because once I build the new military ships, I'll have the new hyperdrive. Once I have that new hyperdrive, yeah, I'm just going to build that. And we're still good. We still have over 10,000 monthly, and our research is still capped. We should be able to easily handle the new colony and all the support charges that it costs us. Should be great. Everything should be pretty stable, and I really think that we're good. In fact, I really think we're so good that I might just put a cut in here. I'm going to redesign a bunch of the ships with their small upgrades that really are uninteresting between this episode and the next, and then we'll just continue right on. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next time when we expand outwards with our cats, try to solve our exploration slowdown, and build our third colony.